I shall look back and laugh at this, but I ain't doing this again. Welcome to the Wyre Estuary Country Park, and just outside here I'm outside the cafe. Now, the Wyre Estuary Country Park is situated, unsurprisingly, on the banks of the River Wyre, which is quite an unusual river in that it's tidal, and we're about 3 miles just from Fleetwood and Knott End on the other side. This video then, it's forming part of a short series that I've got planned, midweek videos. It's only going to run for a few weeks, it's probably not going to be a permanent thing at all. And what I aim to do in the series is to show people the more hidden gems of the Blackpool area, the Fylde Coast area, and budget days out that you can do in the area, and also some of the hidden gems and free things, basically, or very low budget things. So I'm hoping as well to give a little bit of information about the Blackpool area if you come in for the first time, or maybe if you come regularly and you perhaps don't know about these places. So like I say, it's not going to be a permanent thing, it's just going to run for a few weeks. It's going to be a little mini series about the Blackpool area and things that you might not know that you can do. And also I've decided to do this video today because my walking videos seem to be quite popular. I did one in Grange over Sands, I did one in Silverdale. They've both been quite popular videos, and I do want to do more of these videos as well, sort of more peaceful places that perhaps not as famous, and places where you can come to relax a little bit. So I'm going to set off walking now beside the River Wyre down to Skippool Creek, which is probably somewhere that you've never heard of unless you live in the area, and it's actually quite interesting. It has quite a history behind it. So on the other side of the river there you can see Hambleton. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put the postcode and the description for the Wyre Estuary Country Park in the description box, because it's quite a nice place to come, and I can't really describe where it is verbally. And also there are a couple of options if you want to bring your caravan, and I think there are some statics there as well, so you can come and spend your holiday here if you're into the van life, RV life. If you're going to do this walk, what I recommend is you come on a day when we've had a bit of dry weather for a few days, and also bear in mind that sometimes when we get the spring tides, the path can get a little bit muddy, as you can see. It's a bit muddier than I thought it would be actually today, but not too bad. I think we can cope. I do enjoy doing the walking videos, you know. Well, walking videos in my style. Because you know, if you watch the channel, that I like to joke about 1 in 2s after what happened to me in Halifax that day. I actually generally prefer walking on the flat or the not quite flat because, well, primarily I don't really like scrambling, so I don't do it. And there is sometimes a pervading ethos that it's not a walk unless you need your pickaxe, and I don't think that's true at all. Yeah, they redid this path. Well, it's quite a few years ago now, more than I'd care to remember, and they made it suitable for wheelchairs and those electric scooter things. Yeah, because I do think that everybody should be able to enjoy the outdoors, and certainly if you can walk, you can enjoy the outdoors. You don't have to need a lot of equipment. You don't even have to be particularly fit, and sometimes even if you can't walk or you can't walk very far, you should be able to enjoy the outdoors. It's 2026. You can bring your picnic. Yeah, this competitive walking thing, not for me really. So the estuary is lined by these salt marshes, which provide an ideal breeding ground for fish and birds, and they also help to stop coastal erosion, and they're brilliant at capturing carbon. That little bit just back there was very muddy and had me regretting my life choices when I was halfway through it. I must definitely crack on because the tide is coming in. Let's go round here. Do you see what I mean about the path flooding? Isn't it absolutely beautiful though? Looks more like a lake than a river, yeah? This is fun. We're now approaching Skippool Creek. We've marched through all that mud to come and look at a pile of old boats. Yeah, I can just see a sign on that boat there saying no trespassing and no entry onto the jetty either. As if anyone would be daft enough to attempt that. As you've probably gleaned by now, I do like taking you to some of the most important places that you've never heard of, and Skippool Creek is one of those important places. So dating back right to the Middle Ages, this was a really important, vital port that kept the area going, and it imported all sorts of goods, including flax from Ireland and the Baltic, timber from North America, tallow, which is sort of reconstituted animal produce. It's mainly used in animal feed, from Russia, limestone and oats from Ulverston, and coal from Preston. And it was such a major port. Nowadays, Skippool Creek is obviously nowhere near as important as it once was. Yeah, its popularity and use as a importing port, does that make any sense, declined when Fleetwood became a major port in the 1840s. But you can see the historical significance of Skippool Creek when you look around, and indeed there's a boat here. Maybe it's that one there, I'm not sure which one it was, but it's the MV Good Hope, and it's estimated to be about 200 years old. They say it might date from the 1830s. It's a bit like Glasson Dock on the banks of the Lune. Do you remember when we went there a couple of months ago? Once a really important port that's now faded away into obscurity. I mean, they're not all wrecks. Some of the boats are still in use by their owners. There is something a little bit sad about it, isn't there? When you see how in their day that's been a really nice boat and now it's just sort of gone to rack and ruin. But that one looks still in good nick. Not sure about the one next to it. There's a boat back there called White Heather, which I thought was a nice name for a boat, White Heather. I'm not old enough for the White Heather Club with, what was his name, Andy Stewart. So you can see some of them are still maintained. It's got a fascinating history at Skippool Creek. There is also a certain beauty in the dilapidation. That little one there, the little blue one, it's called Who Stole My Rudder? I don't know. It would be a pity if someone did. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back this way now because the rest of the path is flooded. I've already walked through a bit of a flood, but there's no way I can get through that bit without wellies. Yeah, going up the steps might be a good idea. No, that's not going to work either. What I could do with is borrowing a boat. Does anybody have a boat I can borrow, please? I know what I can do. Well folks, that was fun until it wasn't. My feet are now completely soaked. I'm gonna wait here for the tide to go out now, because this is impossible. I shall look back and laugh at this, but I ain't doing this again. That was absolutely awful. I'm not doing that again. The water came halfway up my shins at one point. I'll look back and laugh at it one day. This path should be okay. I mean, you could see in the reeds where other people had trampled them down. But even so, it's quite slippy underfoot and you can't tell exactly how deep the water is. So when you step into it and it comes practically up to your knees, it's not a very nice experience. Never again. This video's worth a like and a subscribe, isn't it, after all that? Right, we've made it to the actual road now, so everything's okay. I'm going to stop filming here. I hope you've enjoyed this visit to the Wyre Estuary and Country Park and Skippool Creek. If I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards, it's because I have. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video a little bit more than I've enjoyed making it. And thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.